Okay, here's my Wimshurst Electrostatic Generator. It's completed. It's made up of 2 acrylic discs and they rotate in opposite directions. They're counter-rotating and they are covered by these aluminum platelets which will collect the charge on the surface. And the charges will be opposite between these 2 brushes, and there's another pair of brushes here. So if this one's negative, this one will be positive. And then the charge on the opposite side will be the opposite charge. So let's say if we have a negative charge here, we'll have a positive charge on this side. If we have a positive charge here, we'll have a negative charge on this side. And as the charge, these neutralizing brushes will balance the charge out between opposing plates as it counter rotates. That charge is carried on the plate to these charge collection brushes. So the way it's arranged, one brush will always have a negative, another will have a positive. And the center of the this rod here goes through this capacitor, or a Leyden jar. We used to call it a Leyden jar in the old days. So if this one has a negative charge, that one has a positive charge. The outer shell of the condenser will have the opposite charge. So if this is negative, this will be positive. If this is positive, this will be negative. Then across the bottom we have what's called a shunt bar, and that will attach the negative charge to the positive charge. So it leaves an open circuit right at the center where these 2 balls meet, where there's a gap, an air gap. So as I rotate the discs, it'll build up a charge and until it gets to a high enough voltage that it exceeds the dielectric constant of the air between these 2 discharge electrodes. So I'll show how it works. So I crank a handle in the back and you see they'll counter rotate until it discharges. Sometimes it'll misfire and it'll discharge across the charge collection combs. If I make the gap too wide, it'll keep discharging on the comb, on the brush. And this voltage, I haven't measured it yet, but I've heard that it can approach like 70,000 volts, so it's extremely high voltage. Let me bring this a little bit closer. I'm just shocked. It's got a lot of voltage built up into it. So now it will discharge. Now you might ask, what's the purpose of this? Well, it's just, well, for one thing, it's a work of art. You know, it's beautiful. It's looks like something that might have been built around the turn of the century, and it's a science experiment. So the goal is to try to create enough static electricity that when it's discharged, it can be captured and utilized. You know, there's a machine in Switzerland called Testatica that is built on this principle, and it powers a Christian community called Methanetha Community. It's more advanced than this, but this is built on a Wimshurst Electrostatic Generator, also known as a Wimshurst Infuence machine.